Okay, so this is a video to go through some sample problems for unit conversions, which we did in class together, but I just wanted you to, again, have this video to have as a review at home if you are struggling with the unit conversions at home. So in order to follow along with me, you're going to need a paper and a pencil, your chart of your SI prefixes, and a calculator, and then you can follow along. So I just want to remind you that to do our unit conversions, I'm going to be setting up that T-chart where the original number is going to be right here. The original number, that should say original, which you can't tell, and the original unit, and then we're going to just do a conversion. This one cancels that one and brings me to a new unit, and then this one cancels that one and brings me to a new unit, and you just keep doing that until you finally get to the unit that you want. And then you're going to multiply and divide this all out, and then you'll be all set. The tricky part, of course, is coming up with these things that go into the T-chart. These fractions that are equal to 1 but allow you to cancel one unit and get you into another unit. So that is kind of the tricky part about this, if there is a tricky part. So we're going to do, I've got 6 examples set up, and they're all just different examples from similar to what we did in class, but not exactly the same. So example number 1, 3.62 times 10 to the 7th micrograms is how many milligrams? So that's our first one. So for this particular example, we have to go from micrograms to the base unit of grams to the final unit of milligrams. So I'm going to need to know what a micro is and a milli is. So I'll look up micro, and I'll see that a microgram is 10 to the minus 6 grams, and a milligram is 10 to the minus 3 grams. And I looked that up on my chart so I can see that. And then I'm going to go from there. So again, I'm going to start with my number that I'm given, 10 to the 7th, pardon me, micrograms, and I'm going to set up a chart. And the first thing I'm going to do is I want to cancel micrograms and get into grams. And so I'm going to put a microgram on the bottom and 10 to the minus 6 grams on the top, since they are equal to each other, and that makes a fraction equal to 1. This fraction that's equal to 1 has the job of canceling micrograms and getting me into the unit of grams. Now I want to get into the unit of milligrams, so I'm going to put grams on the bottom and milligrams on the top. And since a milligram is 10 to the minus 3 grams, I'll place the 10 to the minus 3 on the bottom. That way the grams will cancel. I'll be left with milligrams, which is what I'm interested in. And I have canceled from micro to milli, and now I just need to multiply all of this out. So when I multiply it, I'll have 3.62 times 10 to the 7th, pardon me, times 10 to the minus 6th, and then divided by 10 to the minus 3. So 10 to the 7th times 10 to the minus 6, when I combine those together, that's just 10 to the 1. Because 7 minus 6 is 1. Then I'm going to bring this 10 to the 3rd up to the top, and when I bring it up, 10 to the minus 3. When I bring it up to the top, it's going to be 10 to the positive 3. So I'll have 3.62 times 10 to the 1 times 10 to the positive 3, because I brought the negative 3 up to the top and made it a positive 3. That's going to make 3.62 times 10 to the 4th milligrams. Okay? So that's how we do this. If you have a calculator, you can plug it in. You don't have to do it in your head like that. You can just do 3.62 EE7. And then times, you would do 1 EE minus 6, and then divide by 1 EE minus 3. And you would get the same answer. It'll be probably 36,200, but that's the same thing. Okay? 36,200, pardon me. Okay, so that's the first example. Another example is 4.6 times 10 to the 2 centiliters is how many liters? So for this particular problem, let me put a line right here. I just need to go from centiliters to the base of liters, and I don't have to go another step. I'm just going to actually take one step to do this, centiliters to liters. So I'm going to start at 4.6 times 10 to the 2 centiliters. And I'm going to set up a chart that cancels centiliters and gets me into liters. So I have to go look up what the centiliter is. So when I go up and look up centi, I see that centi is 10 to the minus 2. So a centiliter is 10 to the minus 2 liters. So I'm going to place 10 to the minus 2. Since I put the centi on the bottom, I'm going to put the 10 to the minus 2 on the top. I actually don't need all of this line. I will erase all of that. I don't need it. And this centiliters is going to cancel. I'll have liters left over. And now I have to do 4.6 times 10 to the 2 times 10 to the minus 2. And the 10 to the 2 and the 10 to the minus 2 make a 10 to the 0, which is 1. So this is just going to be equal to 4.6 liters. And that's your answer. Okay? We're going to do another one. This one is going to be in dealing with liters to centimeters cubed. 7.92 liters is how many centimeters cubed? This one's tricky because you're going from liters into the meters, so you need to know that a milliliter is 1 centimeter cubed. So if I can get from liters to milliliters, then I can get from milliliters to centimeters cubed. So that'll be the way that I'm going to do that. So I'm going to start with 7.92 liters. I need to cancel liters and get into milliliters. So I need to look up what a milliliter is. And a milliliter is 10 to the minus 3 liters when you look at that on the chart. 10 to the minus 3 liters. So I'm going to put the 10 to the minus 3 down here on the bottom because a milliliter is 1/1000th of a liter. And that's going to cancel liters and gets me into milliliters. And then I actually have a 1 milliliter is 1 centimeter cubed. That's the ratio. 1 milliliter is 1 centimeter cubed. So milliliters cancel, and I'm into centimeters cubed. So now I need to just do 7.92 times 1 divided by 10 to the minus 3 times 1, which is going to be 7.92 times 10 to the third, because the minus 3 will come up to the top and it'll become a positive 3. And that's going to be centimeters cubed. And that's our answer. Okay, I'm going to do another one. This one is going to be an area one. 9.96 miles squared is how many meters squared? So, in order to do this, I need to get from miles to meters. So I have to think about how to do that. I happen to know that a mile is 5,280 feet. And I happen to know that a foot, there's 3.28 feet in a meter. So I'm going to use that as my conversion. It's not the only way you could do it. You could go from miles is 1.6 kilometers, and then a kilometer is 10 to the third meters. That's another way you could do it, 10 to the third meters. But I'm going to use this one, miles to meters, miles to feet, feet to meters. That's the one I'm going to do. So I'll start with 9.96. Now this is not just a mile, it's a mile squared. So I actually have 2 miles going on here. So everything I do, I'm going to do twice to cancel both of the miles. So I'm going to start down here with 1 mile is 5,280 feet. And I'm going to do it again. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. And that's going to cancel. Each of these miles is going to cancel both of those miles. Right there. And then I have to convert each one of those feet to meters. So I'll say 3.28 feet is 1 meter. And 3.28 feet is 1 meter. Now in class we probably shortened this a little bit to just square everything, but you can do, which is fine, you can do it that way too, but I just want to point out that really you're just doing each factor as many times as you need to cancel. So what I have is I have 9.96 times 5,280 times 5,280, which is 5,280 squared, and then divided by 3.28 times 3.28, all on the bottom. Okay? So, when you multiply all of that out, 9.96 times 5,280 squared divided by 3.28 squared, you get a large number. It's 2.58 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 to the 7th meters squared. So that's your area. 9.96 miles squared is that many meters squared. Okay, I'm going to do one more. 14 meters per second is how many miles per hour squared? Pardon me, meters per second squared is how many miles per hour squared. So I'm going to start with 14, and I'm going to set it up meters per second. I'm going to set it up like that so I have meters on top, meters per second squared, and second squared on the bottom. So I'm going to do the meters to miles first. So I have 3.28, excuse me, let's do it this way, I'm sorry. 1 meter is 3.28 feet. And 5,280 feet is a mile. So that's going to cancel. Meters will cancel, feet will cancel, and I'll be left over with miles on the top. So if I multiplied that out, I'd be in miles per second squared. The last thing I need to do is I need to do the seconds to hours. There are 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. And I need to do that twice because there's 2 of them. There's seconds squared. So 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. So the seconds cancel, both of them. Leave me with 2 hours on the bottom, which is hours squared. And I'm going to multiply this out. So I have 14 times 3.28 times 3,600 times 3,600, all divided by 5,280. That's what's on the bottom. So I multiply that out. 14 times 3.28 times 3,600 squared divided by 5,280, and you get 1.13 times 10 to the 5th miles per hour squared. Okay, so that's all the ones I'm going to do on this video, and hopefully that'll help review this for you if you needed it.